Of course, Olumide is in the building. Yeah, he's smiling, and I mean, you all know what goes down here every morning. And for some time now, we've been doing this series on traits to avoid in a relationship, and we have come down. We have established the fact that one of the things to look out for or to avoid is a partner who's jobless and lazy. So we're taking off from there today. But for the sake of those who didn't catch the conversation last week, I know that we did something, we have like an established conversation already, so we're going to pick up from there. But just in case, for the sake of those people who couldn't catch the conversation, Olumide, you want to tell us what we talked about last week?
Hello, good morning everyone. Thank you for listening and tuning in again very early this morning. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I forgot to announce that you are like a lawyer and a Gnosis Health Initiative, so we knew that.
I think everybody knows that by now.
Mm-hmm.
So we have been talking about traits to avoid in relationships and marriages, and there are 7 major traits that I have pointed out. That is the proud, the jealous, the liar, the malicious, the stingy, the hot-tempered, and the jobless, unemployable / lazy one. It has, especially this jobless and unemployable spouse, has passed so many calls and messages. It was absolutely ridiculous the kind of week I had that men and women were calling, saying how tired they were of carrying the whole responsibilities of the house. Now, this has prompted me to continue with the topic today, but I'm going to address it from another perspective. So let me just briefly go over what I describe the jobless as. First of all, the job is a noun first meant to mean a piece of work, but now means a temporary occupation, as one can have no permanent work but several jobs. So a job is often used interchangeably with work. So you can ask someone, do you have a job, or where do you work? So a job is as old as time. Even as we said, for those that believe in the story of creation, in Genesis 2:2, it reads that on the 7th day God ended his work, which means God also was working, and rested on the 7th day and blessed it from all days as the day that he rested. So here we would go to see that weekends are meant for those that actually have work and work throughout the week. If you are jobless, it's not a weekend to you because your week never even started in the first place. You have no work. Now, synonyms for the jobless, that is, jobless, is also known as unemployed, out of work, out of job, redundant. Now, the variation to this is the word unemployment, which means a person who has the qualification, skill, or talent, but is currently not employed. It means he can work. He has the qualifications to work, but is not currently having a job. That is the first variant of the jobless. Then there's the unemployable. Those are those that have no qualification, no skill, no talent to even get a job. So they are unemployable. Some people are unemployable because of education. Some are unemployable because of character. Some people are so toxic. I know someone last year who lost 4 jobs in 2 months. Nobody would just simply have her. She lost it as she got it. There are people that are unemployable as a result of the character. Some are unemployable as a result of skill. No talent, no education, no qualification. Now, the essence of a job is to earn money. Your value is determined by what you are able to do or the problems you are able to solve. So when you have no value, it means that you have not been able to earn money, you have not been able to solve a problem or have a means of income, because your skill, your talent, your qualification is what is exchanged for money. So work means either you are in paid employment as part of an organization, or you have a skill or a talent that can be exchanged for money. That is in terms of providing service. So even if you're a comedian, you are providing a service, making people laugh, and they pay you for that. Now the question is, should someone who is jobless marry? I would take this totally from especially the Christians. Now, I'm sorry to those that are Muslims, but you would understand me now. Over the week, I like statistics, ladies and gentlemen. I got together all the petitions we had, all the calls that we had over time that had been as a result of a spouse not working. That is, one spouse bearing the entire brunt of responsibility and finances of the entire house. Now, I put all the cases together. There were about 107, and then we put all the cases together, and then we factorized into statistics. You know that of all these cases, 47% of the spouses said that God told them not to work. That they heard that God told them not to work. So now I want to face that myth that God himself would now be blamed for a person's joblessness or the reason behind someone's joblessness. So the question here is, should someone who is jobless marry? Meaning, can someone who does not earn an income marry? Meaning, does someone who does not have work, who has no skill, no talent or employment marry? So since they said it was God that told them, then I would go through the same scripture. If you look at 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 verse 10, it reads, "For even when we were with you, we commanded you this: if anyone will not work, neither should he eat." They say God is not an author of confusion. If God says, if you do not work, don't eat, then God comes around to tell you again that don't work. Look at 1 Timothy 5:8. It says, "But if any does not provide for his own, especially for those of his own house, he has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel." So I wonder if the Bible criticizes it, how some will use this same Bible and say that it was God that told them not to work. So do not marry, ladies and gentlemen, a man or a woman without skill, without talent or income. That is the summation of my point. You should look in terms of value. They say that two heads are better than one.
Right.
So because when one falls,
the
other will pick him up. So what is the essence of a helpmeet when the person has nothing to help with? You say you're a man's helpmeet, but have nothing to help the man with when he falls. So how are you a helpmeet? What is your help? When I am down, you cannot assist me in responsibility. For a woman, when you say a person is the head of the house, meaning that he is the shelter of the house, meanwhile, he cannot provide a shelter for the house. He cannot pay your rent, he cannot. And then he drags a woman from her father's house where she was eating, where she was sleeping on a bed. You drag her out and then bring her into a place where there is no bed. She has to buy the bed for you to sleep on. This is an aberration of the principle of marriage. If you do not have a job, the next thing is not marriage. The next thing is to look for a job. The worst set are those that are unemployable, that have no value. This is what happens when you marry a jobless person. You and then you start giving birth, what you have done is to make other people responsible for your children, because then you will bring your child, you go and give to one uncle there, you give to one auntie there, or one uncle, and this one will be every time other people. You are now putting responsibility on other people, which is wrong. Unfortunately, our society is such that we now start accepting responsibility from other people. I have 2 children. Someone who is jobless is having 5. I don't even understand how you, without a job, will reproduce more than people with jobs. For the women, you say Proverbs 31:10, you call yourself a virtuous wife. That is what every Christian woman says, a woman of virtue. But when you look at verse 13 of the same Proverbs 31, you will find that she seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. Verse 16, she considers a field and buys it from the profit. From her profits, she plants a vineyard. You can see that the virtuous woman is also working, has a job. Work is not in future continuous tense, but in present tense. You don't say, well, he has prospects. You cannot see prospects.
I was going to ask that question.
No, prospect is not, it's not even feasible. It is not tangible.
Because, I was going to interject, but I just wanted you to land.
Oh, please interject.
Now, so in today's society, I think I've been in conversations where guys or men would say that a woman will not marry me or love me because I don't have money or because I don't have this or that for properties. And to me, to my own understanding, I feel like that place is coming from a woman wanting to be secured. Or correct me, I stand to be corrected. Right? And now, so if he doesn't have something, and he doesn't have a job, or he doesn't have a roof over his head, he doesn't have, I don't know, but you see prospect. That is not enough, is what you're saying.
Please tell me what prospect is.
Maybe he has ideas, he has things or plans that he wants to execute, but he doesn't have money at hand to carry out all of these things. Do you hold on to that?
Do you know you can download ideas from Google? So can you get married to Google?
Of course not.
Exactly. There are places where you want business plans, they will give you business plans. But can you eat from paper? What is on paper? What is not on ground? There's always a starting point to every adventure. You put one foot after the next. You don't stand firm and then tell people you have ideas. Show me your ideas. What are you doing? When you want to borrow money from a bank, they will tell you equity participation. That means you to do something. Put 20% down, we will put 80% down. People need to see something. You cannot come to me with talks, and that is one of the reasons why a lot of women get into trouble, because they fall for prospect, knowing that prospect is spiritual. That is funny, but it is nothing that can be seen. So you can't feed someone from something that is intangible. I can't see it. It's not a Peter Pan movie where you sit down on a table and then wish hard enough for food to appear.
Yeah, so I'm wondering why there's a need for us to actually talk about it. Because you mentioned something about how this is a part 2 of this conversation.
Yes.
And you say that after gathering your data and people, you felt like there's a need to come back on this topic heavily. But right now in today's society, there's more of women and men out there who are saying, I don't want to marry liability. And women saying, I don't want to have, are you saying there's a rise or a growing number of people who are entering relationships or marriages without having something to do with the land having troubles?
The worst state is to be in a state where there is no state. It is gaseous, it is gas. You cannot hold it, you cannot sit on it, definitely it cannot feed you. So when you are bringing someone from their father's house to your house, and then you will now bring children again into a formless children, children are your responsibility. In the animal kingdom, even foxes will dig holes, birds will weave nests to create a home for the young. No animal just gives birth on the roadside. They build their homes, they dig their holes, they build nests to give birth in. As a human, you now tell me you want to give birth by the roadside. You can't even feed it. So the first thing, listen, if you have prospects, fine, let us do your prospects. It is not prospects in exchange for marriage. Now, let me not dwell too long on that because I'm going somewhere. Marriage where one person shoulders all the responsibilities always ends up in frustration. Always. You are the one, you would see the partner borrow money. Oh, imagine when the partner even loses a job and then because the responsibility is on you, it is helter-skelter. You go a borrowing, you go a sorrowing. The last variation here, because I'm going somewhere, this is just a recap of last week, is the lazy. Now, there is the unemployed, the unemployable, then there's the lazy. Lazy, according to the dictionary, is unwilling to work or use energy. It also means disinclined to activity or exertion, avoiding work, averse to work, lack of effort or activity. Everything tells you that this person does not want to work. So you cannot be mistakenly lazy. Laziness, you cannot say you have prospects in laziness because you haven't gotten up to do it. There is no prospect. The person is just lazy. But the problem is that in these modern times, people are expecting a lazy person to be sitting on the couch.
Oh, wow.
But no, laziness wears Prada now. Laziness is well dressed. Laziness has an office. But the issue is that is how far they will go. No drive or motivation to go further. They are just there. They avoid further responsibilities. You have that colleague who would not be, you just have that colleague. Now you know that any assignment to your group, this person is zero.
Wow. So it seems like now being lazy and being jobless now goes beyond the little folding of the hands.
Yes. So that folding of hands means there's something they were doing, but they folded their hands because they don't want to work. There are some people that are pathologically lazy. Laziness is a state of the mind. That is to put effort into it. No, you would have to put effort in it for him. You will have to complete their tasks. So that is a lot of work. And the funny thing is when you are married to these kind of people, they would also prevent you from going further. You want to do masters. What do you need masters for? Should be already having a salary. You just want to go and read. All these people with masters, what are they? They just discourage and disqualify any initiative. They are lazy mentally. You see, you have to know that this person is upbeat, willing to execute. If they are not going, they are pushing you to go. Somebody that makes you better. Laziness remains on the same level, is averse to progress. They cannot take initiative and they are content. And they say contentment. They're always telling you to be content, not to strive, just to be content and thank God for.
Tomorrow will take care of itself.
Tomorrow will take care of itself. They cannot do extra work. Colleagues always do for them. The thing about laziness is it is contentious and envious. The moment you are going too far, it's like you are trying to make me look bad because you are working.